Ladies and gents, welcome to Tommy G Talks. Today is another Tea with Tommy G episode. And today my guest, not only is he a friend, not only have I known him for about 15 years, played football with him and worked with him on various projects before, but he is the author of this book here, Did You Win, Did You Score? It covers many topics that are important for parents to consider when they have a child who is not just maybe interested in football, but any sport, on how they can better support their child's development and growth. But today, we're not just going to be talking about football or kids' development. We're also going to be sharing ideas and inspiration around your own development, things that you can consider to help you reach your goals in whatever it is that you're choosing to put your time and energy into. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this episode, Tea with Tommy G with Perry Coffee. So here we are then, Perry. We meet again because you have been on Tommy G Talks podcast before many moons ago.
Many moons ago, yeah.
But this is a new concept now, so it's Tea with Tommy G.
Looking forward to the tea, yeah.
We put the kettle on,
yeah,
and you have the time it takes for that kettle to boil to answer one really, really important question.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
if we're ready back there with the button, we will put the kettle on now. Thank you. Go for it.
That's the part of it.
Perry,
Yes.
what do people need to know about Perry
What
Coffee?
do you need to know about me? Well, primarily, I'm a children's football coach. Have been for 20 years at all levels of the game, from professional football, grassroots. I now run my own soccer school called Pleasure Street Soccer. We do weekly sessions, we have a private academy, and we do holiday camps, which takes up a lot of my time. I've recently written a book, which took many years, as you know. Shall I? Yeah. Did you win, did you score? How to help your child succeed at football and life, which is my life's work. Yeah, do you know what? Some of it is a bit harsh. And I probably wish I'd toned some of it down a little bit now.
Oh, it's there now, it's written
yeah,
in ink.
it's
written
done.
in ink.
No one likes being told what to do. So if you use it as a reference book and using the chat to listen, going, oh, that's interesting, and then you don't have much context before it.
Okay.
I said, oh, tell me what to do here a little bit. But in the introduction, I do say, it's not my right to tell anyone how to do anything.
Nice.
I'm just using my experience and saying what the possibilities are.
Great.
So if you do this, or if this is happening, it might be because of this.
Sure.
And then it might just make them aware. So it's awareness, and then go, do you know what, I never thought of that. I'm going to keep an eye on that from now on, which is a good start.
Yes,
So
exactly.
might go, load of rubbish, I've been doing that for years.
I know everything.
I know
I
everything.
taught Pep everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect your child. But if there's 3 or 4 things in there, you're thinking, oh, actually, I do that, you might want to look and go, maybe I could tone that down a bit.
Sure.
So it's all about possibilities, making people aware, and then they can make up their own minds which bits to discard and which bits to take on.
Absolutely. And we're going to dig into a few of the key topics in the book. We're also going to make sure that in today's episode we are talking about development, so individual development, self-development, but also the importance of coaching input, really, from other people, external input that helps somebody to grow and be better. It might be in football, it might be in sport, it might be in a wider context of business or life.
Yeah.
Kettle's boiled.
Kettle's boiled.
We'll get ourselves ready for the, what have we got? It's green something. So today's tea is organic green tea. We are still on the lookout for potential tea sponsors. You don't have to be a tea maker, although there is a rather large one in our hometown
Going into it.
that maybe we'll talk to one day. But if you want to sponsor the tea or you want to sponsor the kettle, you could have your logos on the mugs and on the kettle. Keep that in mind, viewers. Right then, we've got 4 big chunky topics we want to get into.
Okay, yes.
Pick your brains a little bit, hopefully share some useful takeaways for our listeners and viewers. So today, I want to start with talent versus effort.
Depends if you talk about natural talent, really.
Well, when you mention natural talent, or be careful to say natural talent, so what's wrong with that then?
Well, because I don't believe anyone's born naturally talented at anything. I believe you're born with certain innate attributes that mean that you can pick things up quicker than maybe others. So of course there's a famous 10,000 hours rule, and there's
Malcolm Gladwell.
yeah, Some people like it, some people don't. I actually think it's a good starting point, but I'll go back to football and children because it's really the only thing I know anything about. I've had some children that can get to elite level with 5,000 hours, and then there's some that can get there with 20,000 hours because of maybe the attributes they've been born with or their environment that they're in. So they can both still get there. It might just take some more effort than others. But I don't think anything was ever achieved in football, life, business without hard work. So, you know, football managers, they like to have a good mix of hard workers and what. I mean, I don't like the word talent, but we all know what we're referring to. But they have some talented players and they have some hard work. If you can get a talented player that's hard working, all the better. But you can always improve, and there's only one way to improve, and that is through hard work, persistence, dedication, effort, resilience, all those things that I'm sure you talk about.
We can discuss this.
I mean, I see it a lot with the children. We get a lot of children coming. Some are pushed, like pushy parents. There's a lot of that in the book, as you can imagine. And some come in that are completely wrapped in cotton wool, protected. And my open sessions, you have an absolute mixture there. So it's quite difficult. Because I believe children need to grow under a little bit of pressure.
Pressure forms diamonds, mate.
Pressure forms diamonds.
Pressure forms diamonds.
That is completely different for every single child, depending on what their internal motivations are for being there, etc. So there's lots goes into it, and the more experience you get, the more you can pick out those. Getting the balance right between protecting your child from the world whilst preparing them for the world, that balance between the two, I think, is what parenting is all about, really.
So you mentioned there that, like, when a parent is enthusiastic and has, you know, high ambitions for their child to become a footballer or whatever, or when a coach is very enthusiastic and thinks, you know, I'm a great coach, I've got great kids, and we could be a great team. How can you take that enthusiasm and steer it away from damaging potentially that child's development?
I see it a lot after matches. Oh, we were unlucky today, son.
Fine.
And that's another point. You should never refer to your child's activity or sport as we.
Fine.
It's not a we thing. There's a lot of dads in particular. Some mums go, we were unlucky today.
Do you think that's a subconscious slip of words because it is their journey in a way? Do you think parents are sometimes...
Yes, they get wrapped up in the journey. And I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it. Go off on a tangent, but you can get your identity wrapped up in it.
I spend a lot of time on the sideline. It's a decent chunk of life.
And I've known parents who will be pushy parents because they believe they've got a right to be pushy because they've given up their time to take them to training.
Which is their stuff, not don't bring that to the kids. Right.
You are really just there to facilitate your child's learning, development, sport, fun, all those things. So referring to your kids' sport as we, I see it a lot. And we should beat these today, son. It's not you. No. You're there to drive the car, stand there, support, clap, be nice, really. I don't know. It winds a few of the pushy dads up and get involved, but the trouble is, if your identity gets wrapped up in it and all your social media posts are about your child's football, and we've gone to this game at the weekend, and I see it a lot, especially when they're in pro clubs. You see they've signed in with, on Facebook where they are locations. So Tottenham Hotspur today or something like this, and you scroll down their social media and it's all kids football, kids football, kids football. When something goes wrong, or the child sadly might even decide they don't want to play anymore, it's a big fall of your identity. The kid's identity and your identity is wrapped up in this activity.
A lot of emotions.
So that's all in the book as well, about how you try and get other hobbies together. Leave the car journey for just being a car journey and not for giving out advice or analysing on the way home.
Is there a place, because
just be mum and dad. When it's time to be mum and dad.
It's hard. I find it really hard. I don't want to get into too much of a tangent here, but I
can't remember what your original question was, but we've gone off.
Well, it's fine. I'm under sevens. Link's under sevens. I can't help it. I'm involved in everything. Not because I feel like I'm a busybody and I have to be, but more so because there was a lack of other volunteers.
Yeah.
I would have loved nothing better than somebody to be like, I'm doing it, and I could have my son coached by not me. Right? Unfortunately, the way that this team has formulated, I am involved.
Yeah.
Now, there are 3 sports he does, 2 of which I am involved in. The other I have done to a high level, but I purposely stay away from because I want him to have that leadership. But there is leadership there. Whereas with the other 2 sports, the lack of leadership worried me, and I thought, well, I think I should be helping.
Yeah.
Not for him, but for the whole team. So, on our car journeys, okay, I like to say to him, what did you read about today? And he'll go, I did this, and I won't question it. I'll just his little way he sees the world. That's cool. So what do you think you can improve for next time?
Yes.
And he'll say, I think I should do this, and you'll be like, oh, brilliant. What would that do then? And he goes, oh, this, and this. I'm like, oh, cool. Now sometimes I want to challenge his answers.
Yeah.
And I have to try really hard not to. So because it's hard in the car journey, because I think I get why, and I really do.
Yeah.
But it's really hard. I think if I wasn't a coach and just a parent, I'm driving home, I'd still want to share my enthusiasm and like check in and maybe feel like I could help and pass on some wisdom.
Yeah.
What is if any, good way or positive way? And don't hold anything back if you think that what I'm doing isn't necessarily constructive. What is a constructive way that a parent could engage with their child after a game?
Right, it's a good question.
Should they change the topic completely and talk about anything? Or could you venture into, what do you think about the game?
Yeah, it's quite a lot to it, I think. Only ever engage in analysing the game in the car on the way home if the child wants to.
Fine,
So
great.
if you can get the child to bring the subject up, or you can sort of instigate it a little bit by saying, oh, did you enjoy that today? And get it onto the topic. Oh, why not? And that kind of, it's all got to be sort of child-led.
Yes.
If you're in the car and you're thinking, oh, I know you should have done this, you should have crossed it there, he was greedy there, and you're raging, you want to get that out of him, it's probably not the best starting point with it. I'm not a massive fan of analysing anyway.
Yeah.
If you're going to, try and have 3 positives for the negative. So if there's one thing you want to get to that you really can't, then try and, what did you enjoy about today?
Sure.
What did you think you did well today? And anything else really? And that's positive.
Yes.
And then also, what do you think you could have done better? Like you said, or what do you think you could improve on? And then it might be, oh, I missed 3 open goals today. Then he said, well, okay, how do you think you can improve on that for next time? And try and get them to come up with the answers. Well, I need to practice my shooting. Yeah. Brilliant. Do you think you should practice with 1 foot or 2 foot? Or
nice,
2 feet. So then you're getting something positive out of it, and you're not just putting them down. You're actually saying, right, well, this is how we make sure that improves for next time. Yeah. Then it's a much more positive journey. It is only a game.
And it is only, and this is the
that.
other thing. It's like the flip side. It's so, but it's just kicking a little ball around.
Yes. But back to the car journey, just.
Yeah.
My advice would be never let anything affect your mood as a parent. So don't get in the car grumpy because the team's lost, or because you think the child's had a bad game. If you're only stopping at McDonald's on the way home when the team's won, or when your child scored, had a good performance, but when they haven't, you go straight home. Or if you only want to talk about things in the car when there's negative stuff, don't do it. Yeah. Or football, love is unconditional. Shouldn't, because kids find it difficult to distinguish between parents' love and sort of the moment, if you like. So they think, oh, Dad's upset with me here.
Does he not love me because I didn't win?
Yeah, because I didn't. And you're subconsciously putting pressure on your child. Think, well, the only time my dad's happy is when I've scored. And then you're affecting their decision making. So next time on the pitch, they're going to be greedy, or they're going to shoot, or only want to play up front. Yeah. And you might have the next John Terry or Rio Ferdinand defender, but they don't want to play defence because they want to please Dad. Yes,
because that's what I love about the title of this book. Yeah. And I remember when you first told me about this, you said, I'm going to write a book, probably about 4 years ago. I'm going to call it, Did You Win? Did You Score? because those are undoubtedly the two questions that every adult asks a child. And because of what you've told me, and because we kind of share a similar, although yours is, I mean, look at this, you wrote a book on it. My mum will say it to me all the time, like, just adults, like.
Well, I have to hold myself. I've got a son as well, and I have to hold myself back from saying it. Sometimes I really want to know. I want to know. Like, how's the game? Do you enjoy it? I much prefer saying now to my child in any sport he does, "Were you competitive today?"
Nice. Okay.
Because I like him to be competitive. Yeah. Which sort of encapsulates his hard work and everything. It's not reliant on a result. Yeah. So I like leading with that question. But we all want to know. Did you win? Did you score?
You told me about this Castle Down, I think. In between, we used to do a bit of a radio show there together.
We did do a radio show.
And in between, when a song was playing, you said about this idea, and the "did you score" part. I think, and what do you think, is that probably the most, like, the strangest of the two questions for a child to process?
If you keep enforcing that in a child's brain
from a very early age, that's an individual task. Yeah. Scoring a goal,
and it's black and white.
Winning as a team.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, so the scoring part of it, yes. But so a child will start over time thinking, my parents or guardians, whoever's looking after them, or grannies, are only interested in if we've won and if I've scored. Yeah. And that seeps in. And unfortunately, and I think we'll get onto it in a bit, a child can have a really good game, work really hard, do all the right things, make all the right decisions, but still have lost and not scored. Yes. So there's no context to those two very black and white questions. So a child can be disappointed that they haven't won and they haven't scored because that's all they're getting asked about. Yeah. Yeah, they've been amazing. But they're miserable. Yeah. Yeah. Because they haven't won and they haven't scored.
They haven't won, they haven't scored, they didn't even get man of the match.
So no. So don't get on to man of the matches either. So the whole other.
I had my first experience of that.
Or player of the match, we call it.
Player of the match, like situation where a kid had got, his dad had approached me and said, like, look, just so you know, he hasn't had it, and he's a bit sort of upset about that. And at the time, it wasn't necessarily my decision. I was like assistant, kind of learning the ropes before taking it over fully. And I had a little word with him because his class, and for me to think he would think he's no good or not as good simply because of that was like, no, you are class, you are a great lad, and you're a great player. I said, like, you're almost that consistent. Yeah. That, like, the other kids are showing that they've improved in other things, and that's more. It's hard. I do
away with 4 out of 10 every week, and then suddenly they're an 8.
Yeah. I actually want to do away with it, but I feel like it's too much of an ingrained thing now that. I don't know, it's hard because they get so excited about it.
I know, and it's
and
very
is there also
innocent.
merit in learning that you don't always win?
There is merit in that.
It's hard, isn't it?
There is merit in that, but from my experience, I used to do it, and it gets to the point where you realise you have to share it around everyone because some of them haven't had it. Yeah. And you start feeling guilty, whatever it might be. Please do one thing that I can pick up on. Yes. Oh, they've had a shot with their left foot. Oh, good, I can give it to them.
So there still needs to be a contextual reason behind it.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're doing the whole, 8th place trophy thing.
Yes. But kids, from my experience, as they get a bit older, under 10s maybe, under 11s, they realise it's shared around. Yeah. And I wrote in the book that I actually had one child about that age say to me they didn't need to play well today because they'd had the award last week, so they said no one ever gets it 2 weeks on the trot. Because I'm sharing it around and trying to do the nice things so they can get their little Facebook. And I did away with it. Yeah. What's the point there? That the reward for playing football should be football itself.
In rugby, men's rugby, what we do at amateur level is the other team gives the man a match. Yes. And what that does is it means you can get it a couple of times in a row. Yeah. But it's also a far more objective reason for man of match because we couldn't handle this about you. Yeah. Or I don't know whether that would ever be possible or whether there'd be any conversations that coaches could have around that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dead easy thing to implement, isn't it?
You just ask the opposite coach, who do you reckon?
Yeah.
Because some people go to parents, don't they, sometimes as well?
Yeah, I've seen a few different ideas about it, and I really like that one where
the opposite.
the opposition do it.
Because rewarding is a tough, like rewards. Obviously, you talk about the dopamine here. You talk about that, and you're
Don't go
rewarding.
too in depth in science, but yes.
But like Pavlov's dogs, they do an action, they get a reward. That's kind of that psychological study, which a lot of people know about. With children, they are developing, and so they're learning that rewards encourage behaviour.
Yeah.
But discipline and taking things away, maybe, or restricting. What's your best advice for parents at home who might have had? Okay, how should they reward their children?
Yeah.
Or how can they? But also, how can they discipline their children in a way that doesn't cause a bad relationship with football? Because sometimes you're not going to football this week.
Yeah, that's another subject. With rewards, I don't like them either. Sound like an organiser, aren't I? Bit of Scrooge. I don't like them in terms of a lot of players, and I would say now, I'd say the majority of players are probably now getting paid to score goals, and that is from under sevens up. So the car journey, scored today, £1 a goal, hat trick, give you a £5. If you win, we'll go McDonald's on the way home. Building pressure on your kid, and anything that affects their decision making is wrong. I know why they do it, because they want to influence in a positive way, and it's the easiest and most obvious way to try and have an impact and influence something on the game.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the time you can't have anything, it's the coach and whatever.
Sure.
But I've seen it where children know that they're getting money and it affects their decision, because why would they square it for their teammate to score?
Yeah.
They're greedy, they make bad decisions.
Sure. I've
seen kids shoot from anywhere because they know if they get one more goal, they get a McDonald's on the way home. I've seen so much, and then other children are hitting the ball from anywhere, so they're just getting it, touching it, hitting it towards goal, and just hoping that 1 in 10 shots goes in, and it becomes a bit of a farce. So I don't like that. If you feel you have to reward anything, reward effort and endeavour.
Yeah.
So if your child has spent 5 hours or so in the garden practicing their free kicks, for an example, and then in a match they have a free kick and it goes in, or it's close, or draws a save, or hits whatever it is, no problem with going, do you know what? You've worked so hard and your hard work's paid off. Here's a little treat.
Yeah, amazing. That is amazing. But to
only
do that,
effort and endeavour.
The parents need to be full-time observation mode and not just concentrating on the outcome you set. And this is what I like about this, because it does put a bit of pressure on adults reading this book. It does, and that's a good thing, because you care and you want to impact positively on the game and beyond. But it requires a parent to look in the mirror a little bit and actually apply some of their own medicine to themselves and be like, listen, if you actually do want to show your child love, and you want to show your child that you appreciate them and that you want to reinforce good behaviour, stop giving them the things that you've explained and instead pay more attention to the small decisions that they make. When you realise, actually, little Johnny could have stayed in and not got outside and played and practiced those free kicks in the cold and got on the PlayStation again, because as a parent, would you have even noticed? And that's the part that parents need to know, the pressure for observation in order to make a genuine connection around reward. You've got to be able to back it up. You can't fluff it and make it up, because the kids they'll smell it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times I've seen a child score 6, 7, 8 goals in a game when the team's won 15-0, which can happen at under sevens or under eights, and got 15 easy pounds, whatever it might be. Or, if they scored 7, 8 easy pounds, well, everything should be earned, if that makes sense. So a little tap in that someone else has done all the hard work for and you're getting a quid for. If you've done all the hard work, or you've been up against it, or there's been some sort of adversity, a week before you've missed a hatful of chances, or you've never scored with your left foot and you score, so there's some sort of backstory to it, and you can say, amazing, you've had the confidence to use your left foot today, all that hard work's paying off, here's a treat. But I think the praise is enough. I don't think you need quids, fivers, McDonald's.
Genuine connection.
Just the praise. The joy of scoring that goal and overcoming adversity, the reward should be the reward of what's happened.
And does that transfer?
Kids know if they deserve it or not.
If
then emphasise that point. One other thing I will say is, I've noticed a lot of parents started to mark their children out of 10.
Really?
There's a chapter of that. So I find that even worse than giving quids for goals and performances, because it happened to me once, and it is in the book. A child was given a 10 out of 10 one week, and Dad rang me on the way home. I was on the Nets and all that. I was on the way home. He said, "Oh, perfect performance from today. Got 10 out of 10. So pleased. We've gone to the sweet shop and I've let him have anything he wants. All this, absolutely." But the kid had scored, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 goals. I was, "Oh, they're brilliant, well done." And then I was thinking about it. I thought, "Oh, we were playing against a team. It was a friendly, and we were playing against a team a year below.
Okay.
The kid just stood up front.
Yeah.
He wants to score goals for
Sure.
Dad.
Yeah.
So everyone's job was to get the kid the ball and score the goals. Even when he wasn't playing up front, he went up front. And I thought, where does he go from here? And then I think it was the next week or whatever. His dad gave him like a 9. It's like the kid was mortified. So like, there's nowhere to go from there. Where's the line? And you can't go over the 10. So that's even worse. And it might be that they get an 8 one week, but because they've been playing against a really tough team, there's no context.
Context is gone. Yeah.
The context is gone. It might be that they battled hard and were resilient and kept going and did all the life lessons that you want to instill in your child, and yet they've come off miserable. Because they're not getting a 10 out of 10.
That's such a key point. Like all the life lessons and the qualities. Because remember, it's a vehicle for development for the majority.
Yes.
It's not going to be a life or a career for the majority. So as a minimum, everyone needs to be treated like that until we know otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So the resilience, the determination, the discipline, the teamwork, all of those things transfer into later life and become useful traits. Whereas the getting rewarded for tapping the goal in at the end, or being greedy, or trying to do it yourself.
No hard work and no effort.
Right, no hard work, no effort. That will also transfer into later life. Yeah.
And I should say, no parent goes out of their way to damage their child in any way.
Of course not.
So the idea with the book and what I do is education, I suppose.
Yeah.
Making them aware of what might happen.
Yeah.
Because no one does it on purpose.
Of course.
Sometimes I explain to people, it's a really difficult conversation, and I haven't done it much, and I don't like doing it. So, you're putting all their goals on Facebook every week. Just thinking, you don't really need to do that, because you're now looking for something every week that you can put on Facebook to get your adulation.
And then it's the, hey, look what mate said about your goal.
Yeah.
And then the next time is like, why hasn't mum or daddy put my goal on there this time?
And I haven't run a team for a little while now. I have visions of matches now, and you'll probably know more than me, of just people's phones out all the time, recording, because they're desperate to capture a moment or a goal. You know, that's not fun. Watch the game. Put your phone away, watch the game, enjoy the game.
That's a whole other thing.
And going back to the car journey, should have said, enjoy your car journey.
Yeah.
As parents, that's golden time.
Yeah.
Especially if it's just you taking, your child. Yeah. Don't waste it on
that's life.
Negative emotions.
That's life.
Those are the things you'll miss when it's all gone. When they quit at under 13 or under 14, or they want to do something else. I miss those car journeys. But you're wasting that valuable father-son, mother-son, mother-daughter, whatever it might be, time on something that's really not that important in the grand scheme of things. But that time together is so precious. Yeah. Don't waste it. You're in a box.
Yeah.
For
20, 30 minutes.
And if you can say, have a rule, which I've tried with my kid, but I did a bit late, is no phone.
Fine,
so we'll chat. This is our time. We'll chat. What do you want to chat about? We'll chat. And it's golden time. Don't waste it on being grumpy and saying you should have done this, should have done that. I can't believe you lost this. How unlucky were we today? Yeah. All these and all of that excuses and luck and things take away from the life lessons.
Yeah, that's right. That's so key.
And that is vital.
Yeah.
So the referee was poor today, cost us 3 goals, should have been a pen. Can't believe we hit the post. Can't believe the coach picked so and so again at the back. We'd have won if we'd have kept with this or so and so in goal. Yeah. I've got a list of them in there. Yeah. And it's a big list, but it's only a few of them. That's pollution, isn't it? Yeah. You need to face up to it today. Yeah. We lost. Why did
exactly, we lose? And not be afraid to do that with young ones.
Yeah. I think if you can get to excuse me, or when you can get to the point as a kid or an adult, or any stage of life
when you're playing sport where you can learn to respect your opponent because if it wasn't for them, you can't do the thing you love.
Yeah.
That changes everything for me. I go in to play rugby now and I'm thinking, fair play to these lads because if it didn't turn up, I wouldn't have been able to do what I enjoy doing today.
Fair play for roughing me up a bit. Fair play for being better than me. You know, because I've learned from that experience now, which you take away if you're blaming something else. The pitch, the referee, the opposition coach. It's endless.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Exactly.
And you know, what's the opportunity here?
What's the opportunity here?
Like I say, but you know, never miss the opportunity to instill a life lesson.
Yeah.
Which you take away with excuses.
Excuses do block a lot of the learning.
Yeah, massively. Yeah.
So we'll move on now to our quick fire questions.
Oh goodness.
Okay. Now
you haven't got any in front of you, so do you know these off by heart?
I do have them in front of me. I just don't want you to see them. I just don't want you to see them. Okay, they're a secret. So we have got so Perry.
Yes.
Author of Did You Win? Did You Score?
Yeah, that's me.
Seasoned football coach. 20 years in the bag. I have got 15 questions for you, and the 15 questions symbolise the 15 years that we've known each other.
Oh wow, okay.
We first met in a charity football match.
Big shock, yes, football related.
15 years ago. Yes. Remember it?
I do, yeah. I blow my trump, scored the winning penalty.
Yes, scored the winning penalty. We won on penalties. It was a great day.
Yeah, so I'll never forget it.
Fractured my elbow.
Yes, you did.
Still took a penalty at the end. Stayed the whole game, but I had to get a thing on sling after that.
And I'd noticed the goalkeeper hadn't died for any of the previous penalties, so I was brave and went, yeah, I'll take the fifth one or whatever it was, because I knew he hadn't died for the rest. I wasn't that brave, I just wanted the glory.
And then we actually, I think we bundled you at the end.
Yes, we did. It's on YouTube somewhere.
It is. And then we played in the same Sunday League team for a few seasons.
We did, and it was tough. We learned a few things from that.
Yeah, and that was good. That was good fun. And I always remember in the Wayhill Fair, which is not open anymore. You and me sat at the bar after your last game.
Oh yeah.
And you said you're going to knock it on the head. That's my last game. And we had a pint together. I don't think there was anyone else there. And I said to you, "What advice have you got for me?" And you went, "Try and play at the highest level you can, because then you'll know."
Yeah.
And I took that on and pushed myself in football.
And rugby, didn't you, as well?
Well, that's what I mean. So then that had a knock-on effect, because I did 2 seasons and figured out that's my ceiling. I don't really want to carry that on, so I'm going to change, went to rugby. And I'm not saying it's all because of you, but what I'm saying is that conversation,
so a seed, and then the rest
it just let me think, actually, I don't want to be regretting that. I don't want to be getting 10, 20 years down the line going, I think I could have. I want to know. Yeah. So that then spurred me on to go and do those things. So 15 questions.
Okay.
And by the way, thank you for that moment.
No, that's fine, because I always regretted not doing that. So
you passed the wisdom on.
Yeah, I preferred playing a level below what I was probably capable of, because I found it a bit easier and I could get more internal rewards. I could score more goals and all that, and never really.
You knowing that has influenced how you look at this whole thing now.
Yeah.
The advice you pass on to other people, and as a result of that moment and that cognitive process, we've now shared it with these viewers as well.
Oh yes, I've almost forgot.
You forgot. So 15 questions, mate.
Yes.
Quick fire. All right.
Thank goodness.
All right. Question 1: what inspired you to write Did You Win? Did You Score?
Just the frustrations of all the experiences I had. A lot of them were negative within children's football. Thinking I've got to help these things. There's so much you can influence and help. Just seeing children who I thought have got a chance, not just of getting to an elite level, but staying in the game for life.
Sure.
And then the decisions that their parents were making were actually meaning that was getting less and less and less likely, but they weren't doing it on purpose.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I can't get round to everyone, so I can write a book.
Nice.
And I do a podcast as in a huddle as well to try and get the message out there. So a lot more of my work now is parent education. I know it's not good fun, but it's difficult with parents, and especially difficult with football, because we all think we're experts at football. This is, I hadn't really appreciated that fact until recently, I suppose, especially with the book. I don't need to read that because I know I played a bit of football, and what you end up doing is just how you were taught, doing the same things that your parents did with you, and the cycle goes on. So yeah, and we all know we're experts at football because you watch Man United, watch England, whatever, and you're there going, I can't believe he's brought him on.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's playing him again. Started. We're all experts.
Yeah.
And I don't think that happens.
Experts.
I don't think that happens in rugby.
No.
You'll know more than me.
It's starting to get a bit there.
Is it?
A little bit.
But especially with any other activity I find with kids, and with mine, it's basketball, stagecoach, or whatever it might be, you let them get on with it. The coaches know what they're doing. They've got more experience than me. Sit back, facilitate, journey. Football, I can't believe they've done that there. You should have done this, should have done that.
Yeah.
We're all experts at whatever level you played. Sunday league football, never played before. Interestingly, the ex-pros that I've worked with from when I was Charlton Athletic in the Premier League in Southampton, the ex-pros that I talked to, they let their kids get on with it.
Amazing.
The majority. And they just sit back and go. They know that I played at a level. If they want my advice, they'll come and ask for it.
Yeah, that's great.
And I've seen that thing more.
That's cool.
Sunday league players, they tend to be the ones. Because maybe they're a bit frustrated that they could have played higher or should have played higher.
It's that self.
My kid's going to play higher level than I did.
Yeah.
I'm going to help them.
Yeah.
They might need pushing in this direction, that direction.
Yeah.
I know best. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to educate parents. And of course, with kids, no one likes to be told how they should bring up their kids. So you've got both factors there. You've got football and kids.
Very personal.
Very personal. No one's going to tell me how I should do my kid, bring them up. So you get a lot of fight back.
Yeah, well done for doing it, having the courage to do it, because it will open it up.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. What you're saying,
but it opens up discussion, which is
cool. And that's what we're trying to extend now.
Yeah.
I know that was the first of a quickfire round, but
Sorry.
I want to just touch a little bit on the notion of space.
You mentioned it a little bit there about some of the higher kind of the clubs, they give their players space.
I'm a big fan of Phil Jackson, the coach of the Bulls and the Lakers.
Okay, yeah.
He won 11 rings, his book 11 rings. He talks about when he was managing Dennis Rodman and said that with Rodman you just gave him space.
Yeah.
You just watched him. You just let him have the field and you just watched what he did in there. And then it taught you everything you need to know about what turned him on, what turned him off, and what you need to do and how you need to manage him. Instead of maybe trying so hard to say, Dennis, you need to do this, Dennis, you need to do that, because he was a bit of a different, a more elusive player. He would just observe, watch him. And do we tend to overmanage and overcoach sometimes?
Yeah, and overparent. Observing is the key there, and it works with the kids as well. If the child's always told where to stand, what to do, what they should have done, could have done, what to do in this situation, if the ball's over there, you should be over here, and it's constant on them. One, you're not letting them grow and develop naturally, and two, as parents and coaches, we're never going to work out what a child's capable of.
Yeah.
Because we're seeing it through what we would do in those situations. And, you might be saying to your child, get in the box, do this, do that. They might be a better player than you.
You might see it differently.
We all want our kids to be better players than we were. Earn more money, have a big house. We all want our kids to be better, and so we try and push that. But you might be telling future Zidan or Ronaldo, don't do that there. You should do this. And it's in the book, but it's a great story with me. Was I went to a five-a-side tournament, had all the parents watching, felt under pressure. Long story short, I tipped up in my van with my logos on, the Southampton Football Club logo, and knew everyone wanted to beat us, and felt a bit of pressure and some new players wanted to impress. So I got into sort of PlayStation mode, which is this here, look at me. And there's also a bit of with parents, with coaches, that I think if we lose, it's not going to be my fault, and everyone can see it's not my fault because I'm telling everyone what to do. And if they're not doing it, it's not me, mate, it's them. And there's a bit of that without even realising. So I'm doing that, got sucked in, and this lad got the ball near me on the side, and he was facing that way, we're shooting that way, and I said, pop it off. Like, so the defender, thinking he could play it then into the channel, typical stuff, ball's down that end, we've got him turned. And he kind of looked as if he was going to do that. Cruyff turned the defender, so the defender thought he was going to do that. Zipped forward, crossed it, scored. And from that moment, that probably the moment that biggest impact on me. Like, shut up, man.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
Done.
Amazing.
And then when I ran teams from then on, I was still on the sideline and I would not say a word.
Yeah.
In fact, when the game was going on, you might be able to do this. I used to bring players over. What are they doing? The game's going on. Even if they scored, I'd ignore it. I'd just go, look, maybe you could do this, or why do you think so? And I'd be having a development conversation.
Yes.
Parents hated it. You have to educate parents why you're doing
sure.
certain things. And I used to get stick. You never give them guidance. You never shout. And I'm like, well, how am I going to learn about my players?
Yeah.
They're only doing what I've told them to do.
Yeah, great.
I want to know what they're about.
Yes.
Then it might get to a stage when they're under 10s, 11s. You know what they're about.
Yeah.
And then the individual training can come.
And then you can touch them on. Yeah.
Yeah, and go, this is what you're good at. This is what you need to do. You're never going to know if
No.
it's like your job today is to stop him scoring. Your job today is to get crosses in the box or whatever.
Yeah.
You might be the next best defender. You don't necessarily need to learn
Just
about your players.
exposing them to the space.
Yeah.
So that
Give
they
them space.
can make their own decisions and
See where they're
figure
at
out what they can do.
naturally, and then go from there.
Love that.
And when you explain it, everyone goes, "Oh yeah, I get it."
Yeah.
But it's so easy to get sucked in. And,
Yeah, of course.
I'm not perfect. I still shout sometimes, and
Yeah.
I think, "What am I doing here?"
Well, it's hard, isn't it? But you just know, and you can wind it in next time.
Well, if it's a match, you're all there to win.
Yeah.
Parents want to win, the kids want to win, you want to win, and you get sucked into that. And a lot of people go, "We're a development club." Well, you're not really, are you? You just want to win.
Yes.
You're recruiting players to help you win.
Yeah.
And we all know it.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to get about to development and try to get a result.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good. Good piece, mate. Right, let's get on there. Quick fire now, though. Got
Yeah, sorry,
extra
I
strength.
do
Right.
talk a lot, that's why I do a podcast.
It's good. It's good to have you here. What's the most important skill you think a young footballer should develop?
Resilience.
Resilience. Who was your footballing hero growing up?
Roberto Baggio.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you would give to a parent of a young aspiring athlete?
Remember, it's their game, not yours.
Remember, it's their game, not yours. Okay. All right. What do you think is the biggest mistake that you see youth coaches making?
I feel like I'm on a Christian there. Biggest mistake youth coaches make.
Yeah.
Technically and tactically and things, they don't maximise their time. So I know it's not quick fire, but I saw something just the other day. In fact, someone sent it to me. Starting off a new session or whatever it was, and their kids in lines. And they were doing turns. So one kid took a turn, went to the cone, did a turn, went back.
Yeah.
So you've then got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 just kids who aren't developing, and that kid might not have got the gist of it and not done. So nobody's got anything out of that.
30 minutes doing that.
Yeah. I once timed someone's session,
Yeah.
and it took 18 minutes for them to get the balls out.
Yes.
So anything, if you're doing turns, you're doing skills to beat, or whatever topic you want to get into, try and give them a ball each, get them all doing it.
Yeah.
The trouble is it looks chaotic,
Mhm.
and a lot of coaches think they're under pressure because parents are watching and you want it to look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
You have to have some kahunas,
Yeah,
say that, to and educate parents. This is what
Yeah.
we're going to do.
It's my session that I'm putting on for these kids. This is the reason.
More is learned through randomness and chaos than through structure
Yeah.
and being told what to do.
That's such a great thing. Like I got taught that 2 weeks ago, as in coached it to me.
Yeah.
We had a guy come back who's been away for a few months as a manager, a coach in rugby, and I play in number 10, so I like to be very structured. I like to know my plays, my calls from where.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he said, we need more chaos from you. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you're very structured, you're very routine, you're very organised, but they read it really quickly. And sometimes you learn more in chaos. So
Yeah.
sometimes I want you to do that, but don't do that.
Yeah.
And do something else.
Unpredictable.
And I'm thinking to myself, right, so you mean I can try things if I think, okay, things are getting predictable, I can try something different, and that's okay. He's like, yes. Okay. You know, and so I guess it also highlights the fact that we can never see our own blind spots. And so having someone on the sideline as a coach, a mentor, a manager, even in a business context as well, can just say, hey, what about this?
That's a really good coach because they've tried to improve you as an individual.
Yeah.
I think a lot of managers and coaches get sucked into only worrying about the team.
Yeah.
The result. There's a massive difference between team coaching and individual coaching. They're poles apart.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of team coaching and management is how have I got to get this group of players to work together with their strengths that they've got now
Yes.
to get a result.
Yes.
Completely different to
Same in business.
how
as
can
well.
I get this child to improve, that child to improve, stay loving the game, life lessons, all those things. Might sound a bit woo-wah,
Right.
but that's ultimately important. And you want to improve them all as footballers too. For example, I know it's a quick fire, because I do individual coaching and we're not a team, I can work 6 weeks on week foot only.
Yeah.
No team coaches or managers are going to do that because
No.
they want to organise them. So what football's become now is what happened in your last game?
Yeah.
What can we do in the next game?
Yes.
Very small.
Sure.
Last game, next game.
Yeah.
So your training session is all planned around.
Yeah.
And your team selection.
Yeah.
Tiny little window. You need to think bigger than that as team coaches.
Yeah.
Longer term for their development.
Sure.
Fun. Everything.
Yeah.
So we all get sucked into that tiny little thing.
Yeah. I like it. Right then, now obviously we only play Sunday League, mate. But what's how's the game changed since we played together those years ago?
Cool. Locally or
Globally.
globally?
It's more of a time map, really. We played together, 2013 maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I notice it more with the children rather than us adults, but the game is changing. I was thinking about this just the other day. For example, FA Cup final day when I was a kid, and I've got a few years on you, but it might have been the same with you. FA Cup final day was massive.
Yeah.
I would get up early. They'd have cameras watching the teams have breakfast. They'd have cameras on the coach to the game, all game build up. That sort of thing doesn't happen anymore. Kids don't play in the garden pretending to be their own players, their favourite players anymore as much as they used to.
Yeah.
So I used to be Baggio, or before that, Platini or whatever, and you try and get their characteristics, and they don't do it now because they can just plug in FIFA or whatever, and they can be Zidan. They can, they can play the FA Cup final themselves. You know, my lad probably would sit and watch the FA Cup final a little bit, but be on his phone. You know, it's not a big thing. So the world has changed in that context. You're not going to go out and be, I don't know, Ronaldo or Messi, because you can go and be them on the PlayStation. And too much effort, and the world's changed as well. We used to play on the street till the lights, so it got dark, the light went. Nowadays, it doesn't happen anymore for a variety of reasons. So, unfortunately, now children that are interested in football, you just take them to a team, or something like me, private academy type thing. There's none of that playing on the street with your mates. And believe it or not, I think the best footballers in the world all learn in that way. No structure. Football's too overcoached, too structured. Playing with your mates, learning what works, what doesn't, learning what winds people up, what doesn't, learning to handle yourself a little bit in certain situations. Playing against older kids, younger kids, and interestingly enough, kids, when they're left alone, will work out what's fair and what's fine. So it might be you're playing in the street or in the park and you're winning 9-0. Kids will automatically go, this isn't fair, we'll put you here, we'll put you here. Even we'll make your goal bigger, make ours smaller. You remember, we did all these things naturally to make things fair. Kids want fairness, they want competition.
That's interesting.
Managers and coaches, they want to win 5 or 6 or 7. Nothing about fairness. And they might start feeling guilty when it gets to double figures and we'll take a player off or something like that. Then it's not fair and the players come off. So it's difficult. But kids naturally will find ways to make things fair. I think so much development opportunities are missed because kids just don't play anymore.
Well then, mate, getting back on the quick
sorry, mate. Sorry.
What's the funniest thing, funniest interaction you've ever had with a kid in football?
Funniest interaction I've ever had with a kid. It wasn't funny at the time, but I remember a goalkeeper that let in a goal and we kicked off and he was sulking about it and like this against the post like that. We kicked off, we gave the other team the ball and they just went forward and scored another one because it was still like this. It was just quite fun. And personally, I did score a goal once, which wasn't a goal, but I ran off celebrating and turn around and the game was still going on and
Brilliant.
the ball got stuck on the line and, time. And someone had bundled me and everything. It was really embarrassing, but yeah, that's the funniest moment.
That's good.
Personal one.
Fair. All right, good. What do you think is the key to balancing coaching and parenting if you're the parent coach? What's the key in a
If you're a parent coach,
yeah,
be mum or dad when you're at home, be coach or manager when you're coach or manager, never mix the two.
Okay, like that. That's very important. All right, in an alternate universe, if football didn't exist, what sport do you think would be the #1 sport in the world?
Number one sport.
Bear in mind, everyone who loves football would have to fall somewhere.
Yeah, I just think it's so good a game they'd have invented it again.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some version of it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, fair enough. If you could time travel to any historic football match and watch it live, which one would it be?
I'd love to have watched the 1970 Brazil team. Probably the final when they won the World Cup.
Yeah,
And
nice.
Pele and all those. I think that would be special.
That would be cool. What's the best way to deal with a setback or a loss in coaching
What, for the players or for yourself?
for the coach?
For the coach, as I've already said, look for the opportunity in that to develop, improve, so that it doesn't happen again. So take the lessons from it. Never dwell, get back on it, go again, because that's how resilience is built.
Indeed.
It's resilience that we all need in sport and life.
Indeed. Out of all the drills that you can do, what's the one the kids just love the most?
Still probably shooting.
Is it? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going to do shooting drills, try and get everyone involved. Don't have lines, one person's turn.
Yes.
the other.
Okay. Nice. What would you change? What is the one rule that you would change in football if you could pick one?
One rule I would change in football. In general,
In the game, yeah.
the adult game, the handball rule.
Yeah.
No one really knows what's going on, so it's probably an easy one to pick. But yeah, handball, either it is or it isn't, or it's deliberate or it's not. Let's have some sort of clarification on it.
Yeah, nice. And what's next for you in your coaching journey?
Coaching journey. Well, I've written the book,
Yes.
and the danger with writing the book is I feel I've done it now.
Yes.
And actually, the hard work really starts now, so I should be promoting it and stuff, which I haven't been, to be honest. So I need to start getting it out there. Yeah.
Come and have a go. Come and buy the book.
Come and buy the book. It's available on Amazon. Did you win? Did you score? Just type in my name, Perry Cocking. You'll find it.
Yes.
Or I've got a Facebook page as well, Perry Cocking Author. So
Yeah.
I'll put stuff on there as well. So I'd like to get it out as an e-book as well,
Yeah.
to make it more accessible. Maybe an audio book. I don't fancy reading it myself, but it's a possibility. And I would love to develop an online coaching program,
Right.
so that children can learn at home
Yeah.
in the right way, just them and the ball, no distractions, mastering the ball, mastering the game. So that's something. Maybe with your help with that. Tom.
Yeah, maybe we can help. Yeah. we
Yeah.
can help. Watch this space.
Yeah. So those are the things that are on my horizon.
Okay. Well, hey.
And continuing with the podcast, which I love.
Yeah, well, we'll have to switch roles and I'll have to come
Yeah.
and have a little
You're
chat
on the
with
list,
yours
Tommy.
as
Don't you
well.
worry about that.
But
mate.
thank you so much for joining us today and sharing a tea on Tea with Tommy G.
Great
Talking about did you win, did you score, and all things to do with coaching children, not just in football in general, but a couple of things as well that we can take away as adults when it comes to our development.
And that book's for you, by the way, Tommy.
Is it really?
Keep that one,
Oh, thank you. You have to sign it as well.
I'll sign
And
it.
speaking of signing, we have to also sign the kettle. That's what we're doing.
Sign
with
the
our guests
kettle.
on Tea with Tommy
Wow,
G.
I
So
like that.
let's get that done now. Double whammy.
I was on a TV show years ago. Probably before was it Don't Forget
TFI
the
Fridays.
Was it TFI? Yeah.
Where it's on the desk.
Yes.
That's the inspiration for the kettle. Do the book first.
Okay. I need to put my glasses on now, Tommy. It's a big one, Tommy. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we didn't mess about with it.
Tommy, give it a yes. Wishes. That's
Beautiful.
me. Just fold that back so it doesn't smudge.
Beautiful. Okay, and keep the lid off because now, kettle. Go on then.
So
Actual-
people are just sort of writing their names,
Name
like
or
a little bit of
signature.
a little that's Link's one. Bit of a trademark kind of whatever you
Okay.
wanna whatever you wanna do.
Shall I put Pez?
Go on then.
Pez up. And I'll go a little number 10 because it's my favourite. Smiley face. Sorry, I'm
Very
taking
nice,
too
look
much
at that.
space then, not for anyone else. But there
Okay.
we go.
And then little photo with you, me, and the kettle.
I'll bet take the glasses off for that. There we are. And the kettle. Good.
Sweet, thank you, mate.
Thank you very much, sir.
That was awesome.
Enjoyed
Loved
that.
it. Cool. And then we'll cut straight to
Yeah.
our stuff.
Cool. Right.
Magic.
Cool. It's better with the heater on, wasn't it?